Hello, welcome to Foundations for Algebra, Unit 2B, Lesson 7. Today's objective is that scholars will construct and evaluate scatter plots from bivariate data. So the first question is, what is bivariate data? So bivariate data is just data with two variables. That's why we call it bivariate. BI stands for two. So it's data with two variables. An example is height versus age, comparison of height versus age, or car mileage versus its value. We use bivariate data to compare and to try to find patterns in our data. Next question, what is a scatter plot? A scatter plot is a way to display bivariate data on a graph that helps us see patterns in that data. So you see here, this is univariate data. That means it has one variable. In this case, we're looking at restaurant sandwiches and just looking at the number of fat grams in restaurant sandwiches. In bivariate data, maybe we look at the number of fat grams compared to the total number of calories. That's bivariate data because we are comparing two different parts, pieces of information about the data points. And we can take this bivariate data and we can create a scatter plot. A scatter plot, turn that a little bit, is just a way for us to do this. When we do this by comparing, we have our calories over here, our fat grams over here, and then we just plot the points for each piece of data. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces of data. And you can see that over here I have 12 pieces of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So each dot represents one of these. So next, let's talk about what are the features of a scatter plot. So scatter plots can have clusters. Clusters are just groups of data points that are near each other. So in this case, here's a cluster here. Here's a cluster here. Scatter plots can also have gaps. So a gap is simply an area within the pattern where there's no data points. So there's a gap right here. There's a gap sort of right here. Those are sort of blank areas within our pattern. Finally, scatter plots can have outliers. Outliers are data points that do not fit the pattern and are away from others. So this would be an outlier. So you can see we have our clusters, we have gaps, and we have outliers. Finally, let's talk about how we make a scatter plot. Here, I am going to be comparing the hours in the mall versus the dollars spent at the mall. So the first thing I need to do is decide which one is my independent variable. I'm going to say my independent variable is my hours at the mall. So that goes on my x-axis, hours at the mall. And I also need to decide, that means my dollars spent goes over here. Of course, me writing sideways is fun, hours spent. So now I need to label these with their value. So I look at my hours at the mall, and I see I have anywhere between 1 and 10 hours. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is easy. I'm just going to make each of these worth 1. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then dollars spent. Here I have anywhere between $10 and $100. So I'm going to do these in tens. So over here I'll have $10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $80, $90, and $100. Okay, so that's the first thing I need to do. Next thing I need to do is actually plot these points. So I'm going to use red so you can check. So my first point is 10 hours, $40. So I'm going to come here on the hours, go over 10 hours. I will go up to $40. I'm just going to put a point there. I'm just going to put a dot right there. The next one is 8:15. Again, I'll go over to 8 and then go up to 15 and put a dot. And I'll keep doing that. 9:24. I go over to 9, up to 24 and put a dot. So I can check them off as I go to make sure I get them. Next one is 3:20. 3:20. Put a dot. 1:10. Put a dot. 2:35. I put a dot. 5:50. I put a dot. 6:70. 7:18. 8:25. 100. And then 360. And that's all you have to do to make your scatter plot. You can double check by counting your points, make sure you have the correct number. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If I count my data points, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pieces of data. Okay, so when you're doing this on your own, all the graphs that I've given you, you can edit them. They are pictures, and you are going to actually make some scatter plots. Have fun, and I will see you in class.